I did.
Prayer requests or praises today?
Kills in my bag.
Start of a new week.
Okay, cool.
Prayer requests? No, you're good. Just chilling back there. Okay.
Just like
All right, Allie.
I have a.
So just
No, not bad.
let's pray. Lord, we thank you for a beautiful day, and I just pray you be with us this week as we learn about your beautiful creation. And we pray that you be with Brittany as she speaks and teach us about ultrasound. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. So that being said, we have the lovely Brittany Katsinis here today to teach us about ultrasound technology. So, of course, I will thank you in advance for being quiet and respectful. If you guys have questions, you are welcome to, guys, you're not respectful to me to begin with. Harder. Thank you. If you have questions, feel free to raise your hands and wait to be called on. If she's got a good break, she'll stop and can answer questions. Okay? And she's got some worksheets she'll be handing out to you at some point in the process. Please complete those, do your best, and I'll get you guys some extra credit on some homework you need if you've got that done
She knows
well
we need it, dude.
completely. Yeah. Okay? So you're having a rough start to the first quarter. Any questions before we begin?
Are you married to Mr. Katz?
Yes. Yes, this is Mr. Katz. This is Missy. All right, I'm gonna let her take over then.
Hello everyone, so my name's Brittany. I work at Salem Hospital doing ultrasound. And since this is being recorded, I will say, even though I work for the hospital, this presentation is my own thoughts and it's not affiliated with the hospital. I've been doing ultrasound for 12 years. I went to college down in Klamath Falls, so Oregon Institute of Technology. That's actually where I met Mr. Katz. So I'll just kind of begin a little bit of how many of you have even heard of ultrasound? Okay, good. How many of you heard of that kind of associated with looking at babies? So that is one thing that a lot of people know about ultrasound is we look at babies, but we look at other things. So with ultrasound, what it is doing is using sound to create images. So it's kind of like part of medical imaging. So medical imaging is using something to create pictures of the body. So you have ultrasound, which uses sound waves. You have X-ray and CAT scan, which uses radiation. And you have MRI, which uses magnetic waves. I do ultrasound. Usually you don't cross-train too much. It's kind of like you learn the one modality and that's what you do. So ultrasound uses sound waves. So this camera submits sound waves and it uses it to create images of the body. So the sound waves it uses is a frequency above what humans can hear. That's why you don't hear anything.
How does the sound show up?
So what it does is, it's kind of like echolocation, like with a bat. It sends out the sound waves and it goes until it hits something. When it hits something, it bounces back. This receives that information and it tells it what kind of vein it hit. So with ultrasound, it's kind of using different shades of gray to tell a story. So the different colors will create different densities. So you're like, I'm seeing this color, this shape, so this must be the object that I'm looking at. Let's see. And so these are all real-time images. So it's not you put it down, you fiddle with buttons, and you create a picture. The second you set this down on the body, it creates a live image, and you just keep seeing until you stop and save a picture. So my job is to take the pictures for a doctor to then interpret. It's usually a specialized doctor called a radiologist, and their job is to look at all medical imaging pictures and interpret them. So ultrasound is really good at seeing soft tissue veins. So internal organs like liver, kidneys, we'll be looking at that in just a minute. We're not as good at seeing air or bones. as you probably like learned a little bit in physics, that sound doesn't go through certain objects well. So as you can see, like this is on, but you're not seeing a picture. And that's because there is air between my camera and my skin. And so when we scan a little bit, I'll show you how we use ultrasound gel to create that barrier so there's no air between my camera and skin. So one thing that's kind of different with ultrasound, so I'm not a nurse, I'm not a doctor. Those are completely separate degrees. A lot of times when you hear about medical careers, you usually hear nurse and doctor, you don't really hear other things. So this is something cool if you're interested in the medical field, but you're like, well, I don't want to be a nurse or doctor, there's a lot of different options. Ultrasound tech is one of those. So I'm going to actually pass this out. I'll start at this end and you can take one and pass it down. So this is just kind of to give you something to kind of think about as I'm talking about an ultrasound career, of just kind of like, does this sound interesting? What are your that kind of thing.
Take a picture.
It's blurry. It's so blurry. What's up, Isla? I'm not a camera person.
It's all Emma's fault.
It's all Emma's fault. Anything
It's all
that
Emma's
happens
fault.
is Emma. Anything that happens is Emma.
Seriously.
I'm here
This
too.
tripod and
Oh yeah, Chris is over there.
wait. I got you, Odessa.
Show me. Show me.
I want to be
She doesn't even know who Ella is.
I want to be in it.
Okay, we're gonna stop it now. Like, get your eyes in the
All right,
frame.
I'm gonna bring it in again. All right. So talking about this career, there's some things that need to interest you to maybe be a good fit. I've been talking about sound waves. What does that kind of what class does that remind you of? I don't know if you've hit it yet.
Sound.
Video production.
What about something in the science field? Physics, good job. Yep, so you do have to understand physics, because we're dealing with sound wave, frequency, and even though I'm not sitting here with like my calculator trying to figure it out, the machine does a lot of the calculation, you still have to understand the basics of, if I increase the frequency, what does that do to the sound wave? So you need physics, you need a little bit of math, you need to know anatomy and physiology, because we're doing this at a hospital, we're dealing with the human body, so that's understanding, okay, where are things, what am I looking at? And so you have to understand like pathology, so diseases, and you kind of just have to have general patient care skills. You're dealing with people. And a lot of times you're dealing with people that are sick, hurt, frustrated, not feeling well. So do you think they're going to be at their best and kindest to you? No. And so you have to have that bigger picture of, I care about helping people even if they aren't being kind to me. And so that kind of ties in with just like having a compassion and willingness to help others. So one thing is with ultrasound, a lot of people will work in a hospital, but like I do, some of the kind of downsides of that, hospitals, 24/7. So that may mean you have to work a night shift or a weekend or holidays. I frequently do that. I work kind of a swing shift, so I typically work until 10 p.m. or even until 1 a.m. Those are kind of my hours. Clinic work is more set days, which is nice, but you don't see as exciting of stuff. It really tends to be people that can walk in themselves, just need some help with something, or the hospital, you see all ages, all levels of sickness. I've scanned everything from a micro preemie all the way to, I had a patient that was 106 years old. Well, I mean, broad range. I will scan, again, people that are pretty healthy, maybe they just have a lump or bump. all the way to people that are in the ICU, which is the intensive care unit. They're intubated, so they have a breathing tube, very, very sick. So you're just gonna see it all. Let's see. Other things you can do with ultrasound, if you don't want to practice it, you can teach it. Someone has to learn how to do ultrasound. You can also sell ultrasound equipment. That's another way you can go about it. You can also do medical missions. Ultrasound is great because, as you can see, it's portable. It's something that you can take. You can't take a CAT scan with you. You have to set up and build a building. For ultrasound, it's great. It's one of the cheapest imaging modalities to do because you don't have to use, like I said, smaller, it's more portable. You don't have to use any radiographic material. So ultrasound is really great for that. So if you're interested in missions, but you don't want to just teach the Bible, medical missions is something that you could look into. The money, that's what people always ask about. Ultrasound careers, you do make pretty good money. Starting wage, I mean, this all depends on where you live, how long you've worked, all that. But it usually starts somewhere around like $40 to $45 an hour, and then goes to maybe $65 to $70 an hour. Schooling. So usually what you have to do, you have to have your high school diploma or GED. That's pretty much a prerequisite to any degree. I have my bachelor's degree in ultrasound. Like I said, I did a 4-year degree. You can also do an associate's degree, but there's not as many of those programs available, especially on the West Coast. So once you get your degree, part of your degree, you have to do a 12-month clinical externship. So that means your final year of whatever program you're accepted into, you have to do a year-long, just like internship at a hospital. So you have to put into practice what you learned. So after that, you graduate, you have your degree, and then you have to sit for some credentialing exams. And so I had to sit for my board exams, and it's basically, you have to go and take a universal test and prove that you understand what you're doing. And so you have your board exams, and once you do that, you are now registered as a sonographer, and you can practice in a clinic or hospital or wherever you choose. For the state of Oregon, you also have to get a imaging license, which just means you pay them money and they give you a card saying you're licensed. All right, so are we ready to get into some actual ultrasound? Sure. Ready? We'll just want to dim the lights. Because with ultrasound, it's kind of very similar to going to movie theaters. Darker room allows you to see the room, the screen better.
Oh, I can zoom in. The power.
So you can just lay on your back on there. I even brought you my soap.
Nice. Try to zoom in more.
She's pregnant.
Actually, though. Jeez. Okay, wait. I don't know how these.
All right.
Wait.
So a typical exam for me for looking at the kidneys, we would look at both kidneys.
I don't know how to
All
like
right.
film this.
So with ultrasound, like it says, it needs to be able to
I'm like
touch the skin.
zooming
It
into the
can't
screen.
have anything in between it.
I don't know how to use it.
All right, so we use ultrasound gel. It's just like a water-based gel, basically, and it allows for no air to be in between the camera
I think that's
and the
fine.
skin.
Yeah.
And you kind of see it on the screen as I put it on. All right. Let me know if I need to adjust the screen at all for you. Gel, sorry, it's a little cold.
We can just look through here.
So up here, you can actually see. So see, I froze the image, and so I'm the one that controls what I can see. And so I'm going to scroll back. the image I want. And so you can see, this is the liver here, and then this is her kidney right here. So I can save that picture and send it to a doctor. There is the kidney. So one of the other things I talked about, ultrasound not seeing well, is air. And so if I scooch down here, you can see there's some intestines. And we can't really see well because intestines are full of gas and air and all that. And so that's what all this black stuff is. My sound beam is hitting the intestines, hitting air, and just scattering. And so the other thing is, I can scooch down, and you see how my image went black? Why do you think it went black?
It's not true.
What do you think I'm hitting that the sound beam can't go through? Bone, her ribs. And so see, I can slide up and be in between her ribs.
She's pregnant.
I'm not there yet.
Under my rib cage, I'm pregnant.
That would be concerned.
Go ahead and take a breath.
Concerning if she's a child.
Guys.
Are you ready? There we go. And so you can actually see her lungs are up there, and so again, can't see through air, so it's just creating that shadow. I breathe. Go ahead.
She has lungs.
No.
Can you lay on your side so you're facing away from me? So part of my job is to be like, okay, in this window, I'm not seeing the whole kidney. I'm just seeing a little piece of it. So then it's my job to decide, how can I get a better image?
I love Skittle. It's vicious.
So I'm having her
It's
roll
so
on the
chaotic.
side.
Ready? Zoom. Zoom. Zoom.
So I can then see the entire kidney here. See?
It's
So
like a
now
grub worm.
I can see the entire thing here.
Could just wobble.
And so that would be part of your job is everyone's internal organs kind of sit in different spaces. Everyone's rib cages are different. And so it's your job to decide, how can I get the best image I can? So like I said, it's real time. And so the other thing I can do is I can adjust my picture. So I can make it really bright. I can make it really dark. You can't see anything. Like I said, this is where you have to kind of understand the physics of it. If I turn this down, what does it do to the image? We can see blood flow. So those are the renal arteries and veins there. We can
It's in blue and red.
even hear it.
18 minutes. Just asshole. Let me see what
Hear that?
Kidneys.
Those are the blood vessels that go to the kidney.
It sounds like you're recording during like a windstorm or something. So like there's a wind blowing.
Calling me from a wind tunnel.
So you can see like how there's different colors in the kidney. That just kind of shows, it just shows the different parts of the kidney. So the outer part and the inner part. Our job, we can't always tell the function of something, but we can look at the appearance of it. Like a typical normal healthy kidney looks like this. What am I not seeing?
I would pan over to the people, but it's. Oh, I was gonna.
See that over there?
Hands, camera, whoa. It's nothing.
Made them put-
Micah, you made Isla look. Come on.
Give Isla
There is
uncomfortable
the bladder.
Thank
You
you.
can see there's black there. So anything with anything that's black is fluid filled on ultrasound. So that's one of those things you're like, what am I seeing? And so you can think of, okay, what color is it? Find out if I'm right. You want to know? Sure, let's find out. I guess you are.
Well, they heard that.
I'll let you say it out loud if you want. You can see it. Yep.
Wait, actually? No way. No way.
If you can relax for a second.
Are you actually being real right now?
What is this?
Wait, hold on.
Is it a boy or a girl?
Uterus, and then that's a gestation.
Actually? Yo. Yo.
You're pregnant?
Yeah. Oh, no, me actually.
What did I say? What did I say?
I'm not gonna let down.
What did I say?
That's insane.
Wait, do we know like what it is? Wait, what is it like?
How do you? It is a black dot.
I can't see it.
There's a black dot.
Here then, zoom
It
in.
looks like a leaf.
Enhance.
Enhance. Enhance.
Jarvis, enhance.
Zoom in.
Just look through the camera.
So,
Well, that happened. I look, it's a live stream of this.
I look at the live stream of this cam. You need to go up higher.
Hi.
No, stop terrifying.
Yeah, she actually pregnant.
She could be alive.
She could be.
She could be. Oh, yep. She's pregnant.
That'll work.
Damn, but she didn't know.
How do you not know?
Yes, we did. Mike, we indeed did.
She's Egarante.
Wait, she didn't know? Oh,
We can just show this video.
Hey guys. Molly's falling down. She's calling her husband.
Allie. Allie. Allie, Ella. Move.
I'm sorry, I'm pause for Isla so I can call on it.